I've been taking a break from social media and it's changed my life. This week is an life update episode of what's been happening both in business and life and the learnings that I think are so important for you as well. Enjoy. Welcome to the Best Damn Coach. Happy September. This is our first episode as we enter into hopefully the fall season. Still freaking hot here in Arizona. This is actually a bit of a life episode update. At the time of recording this episode, I've actually been off social media now for upwards of 3 weeks. And a lot has passed, like really changed, I should say, in the last few weeks and the last few months. And I've made some big decisions in my life and business. And really, one of the biggest ones in business was taking a social media break. So I felt like I wanted to use this space to give you a life update. I miss connecting with you on social media, and I don't miss social media. That is the one part that I am missing out on is connecting with all of my amazing listeners and clients and friends. But I want to use this episode to talk about some things that are happening in my life, some personal things, some milestones that have happened, some learnings. And I hope you find this super fascinating. And I hope that it inspires you to just think differently inside your life. So, over a month ago, I had been reading a book. It is called Draw the Circle, or is it Draw the Circle? Oh my goodness. I got to come up. There's like a series of books. I'm literally like Googling it right now to make sure I'm telling you. It is no, it is The Circle Maker. Oh my goodness. The Circle Maker is kind of the first book. And essentially the idea is, praying around the things that you really most desire in life. And as I was reading this book, I had this nudge of, man, like what what's really capturing my energy and where's my attention going? And this idea of fasting isn't just around food, but fasting is taking your attention away from potentially things that take up your energy and distraction and allowing you to pour into areas that are more valuable. And so I had this nudge immediately, like I should take a social media fast. And I was like, I can't. I run a business. I use social media. Oh my goodness. And then I started thinking, well, what would happen? And I had zero backup plan. I thought about it. I sat with it for 48 hours. I was really questioning myself. And then I went off social media, made a post like, hey, peace out. I'm gone. I'll be back maybe September-ish. I'm not really sure. And what it has done has made me rethink everything. And I'm going to get back to that shortly and why that is. But also what's happened are the kids going back to school in the last month. Our kids went back actually at the very end of July, beginning of August, super early here in Arizona. And it brought up a lot of emotions, like really big emotions. It's been way harder than I imagined because both my kids were going back to school for the first time in 2 years. Our daughter has been in traditional school. She did a little bit of a hybrid year in eighth grade, finished out her freshman year of high school, going back as a sophomore. But our son has been homeschooling for 2 years, as you've heard me talk about, and decided he was ready to go back and experience eighth grade and want to be with, the social element, but also play sports for eighth grade. And I knew that like, we never started homeschooling with the plan that was going to be permanent. It was an experiment. It was like, let's have fun, see how it goes. What can we do with it? And it's been a blast. And I know it wasn't an easy decision for him, and I wanted it to be his own. And so Justin and I were very clear that whatever you choose is the right decision for you. And you can always change your mind too. And so we geared up, sent both kids back, and I sobbed after I felt like, honestly, like kindergarten drop off again. And he's ready and he's awesome. And it wasn't him, but it was also me having this realization through that time that we are closer to both kids going to college and leaving or their next step, whatever that looks like, versus being in kindergarten. And that just shook me around the scarcity of time I have around them being in this house under this version of what our life looks like. And then at that, our daughter turned 16, driving, teaching her to drive, the freedom, the new rules, the new seasons, the new risk that driving has with it. It's all exciting. And it just really gave me this time reality check around this season that I'm in. And So it's like this exhaustion factor hit, like 1 or 2 weeks in between the emotional transition of school, the new driving, and then feeling this presence on social media, having like a have to. It's when it came at a very clutch time of like, well, it doesn't have to. I don't have to be here. And I felt like it was just like divine timing, literally divine timing of what am I actually doing this for and where does my energy have to go? So that impulsive choice has led to a bandwidth of amazingness that I actually want to share with you, because what it's led to is essentially this question: how can I run a business without social media, or can I? And so here's kind of the plot twist around this whole thing that shifted me is that now we're 20 something days in. Like, the reality check is it actually hasn't hindered my business at all. And that's the super cool thing. So here's what I think. Actually, here's what I think's happening is because social media is this free tool and it's a no-brainer tool. It's like, why wouldn't we, right? Why wouldn't we leverage a free platform to market our business? And I don't think that this is inaccurate. I think this is spot on. And I wonder how many of us are telling ourselves the story that social media impacts our business more than it actually does. Like, show me the KPIs. And so when I started exploring, and I explore this with my clients a lot because I hear people say, well, I get clients from social media, and I say, but do you ever investigate where your clients actually are finding you from social media? And something we do is that every single new follower up until I took a break from social media is welcomed personally. We reach out to them, and I was doing this myself until now I have a team member at least initiate the first welcome. And I ask, how do we get connected? And I can tell you, not one of them says, well, I found you from a viral post, or I was scrolling through social media and you came up. If they found me from social media, it's usually one of three things. They found me from a referral, somebody suggested they post, or they came to me from another place they found me, like a podcast or a speaking event. And third now is they potentially saw an ad, clicked on the ad, got curious about my handle, and decided to follow me. All of which, none of them involve creating social media content. And so this did make it a little easier for me to step away because I don't need to create the content. I already know. And I'm curious what happens if I step away. What will the following be if they're coming from other sources? And so the cool thing is I'm actually tracking that, and I don't have to go into the app, right? Necessarily. I can go into the analytics, never have to look at the feed or post, but I can see that we've still had hundreds of people follow us over the course of the last 3 weeks because they're coming from one of those other lead generation sources. So this is the critical reason I keep saying you need to have something else that you're not building on borrowed land, because then the social media piece just becomes a nurturing piece where people can engage, get more familiar, and like get involved with your brand. And so this is the question I would encourage you to ask yourself. Do you know where people are coming to you from? And if so, how do you double down on that? And that's really where it's led me. So then I got strategic a little bit, like, oh, there's a back end focus here. So what I realized is that, shoot, I didn't plan this out very well. I have ads running. We've been responding personally. So crap, what am I going to do if I can't do that? And so what it really did was accelerate something I've been wanting to do forever, which was set up my ManyChat funnels. So I set up a few key ManyChat funnels. I'll link to ManyChat if you're not familiar. It's just an opportunity to connect kind of an automated response to your Instagram or another profile. So I just have a couple of funnels set up. So if someone clicks clients, then I'm able to at least send them the link to the limited series podcast. If they reply to framework somewhere, I can send them to my free webinar. Or if they just send me a DM, I was able to set up an automation that says, hey, I'm on a fast from social media. I'm so grateful you're here. Email me if you need anything because I'm not actually replying. What's so cool is something I've been, again, thinking and telling myself was going to take forever. It took me less than an hour to implement. And it was just a reminder for me that sometimes the anticipation of what we're telling ourselves is going to take, the time it's going to take or the energy is way greater than the actual implementation time. So I wonder if you've been telling yourself that too, whether it's setting up a tech stack, email system, ManyChat funnels, making your first post, whatever it is the story we tell ourselves is oftentimes not the thing not the length or the depth of time that it's actually going to facilitate. And the cool thing about that has been that through those many chat funnels, I can actually see what people are engaging with, and I don't even have to go into the app. It's been clear through the last 10 clients that have come on board, but also through the many chat funnels, that the thing that is driving the most interest is our limited series podcast, which then allowed me to set up a few strategic paid ads just around some existing reels. I'm spending less than $5 a day on both promotions, and it's bringing in 5 to 10 very warm leads a week into our limited series podcast. Had I not shut down my social media, my energy would be going towards creating content, writing content, scheduling content, or posting content, being in my stories. And so sometimes we have to completely turn out the noise so that we can go super laser focused. And so here's the question that it led me to next is, man, I'm spending a lot of time thinking on those new leads that are coming into my social media world when my email list is around 5,100 people. Only about 4,500 of those are clients that have purchased one of our coaching services. So that means I have 4,500 people on my list that probably fall into one of three categories: super cold, uninterested buyers, lukewarm leads that maybe probably need re-engaged, and really warm leads that maybe don't know that there's a next step, or aren't ready, or have time issues, or are something's happening. And so this was my greatest insight up to this point is, wow, I'm spending a lot of time over focusing on new. What about the amazing freaking people that are on my list that I haven't done a great enough job in engaging with? And so my team and I sat down after that epiphany, and I really just looked at the segments. We have students that have joined freebies or listened to our podcast that haven't purchased. Why not? What can we do to support them? We have people that have bought our students of the Framework Builder Lab, or we have students that are in our Small Bite offer and they haven't joined the Best Damn Coach. We have students that are in the Best Damn Coach that have renewed and maybe they want more one-to-one support. Have we even shared that with them? So I was able to map this out and start seeing these segments of opportunities and asking myself, how do I activate them? And the reason I'm sharing this is because you probably are one of those people if you're a listener. But second is, you have these people too. Have you asked yourself, how can I activate them? And so I've went to starting to just ask super short questions. Hey, are you struggling with this problem? Reply back. And then I know they're warm. So that's been a huge epiphany, is what I'm trying to do in our emails and send less calls to action that involve links or sending them somewhere else, and more calls to action are like, hey, reply back to me and let's talk about this. Is this you? Reply back if this is your struggle, if you're interested. This does two things. It helps us support the person very clearly. And second, it increases email deliverability, because when you're sending out emails and nobody's replying, it kind of sends this message that this isn't that important. It can be in the promotions. And what we're trying to do is counter that. And at the end of the day, we're all running businesses. Our email list is there to support people. I know I am the best at what I do. And I know when someone comes through one of my services, they're going to get amazing results. And so it is my job to embody that belief and invite them to our services. If I am not for someone, then they don't need to be on my email list. Because I 100% want to activate any person on my email list that I can serve, that is my ideal premium client, into a way I can support them. And I think this is the reframe that I would offer you, is the longer we don't sell, the longer we don't talk about paid offers, the more we're creating a buyer pattern like, hey, just hang out. But that's not what I want to do. And I'm very clear on that moving forward. So we started being very honest about our offers. We're working to re-engage people, call people up into taking an action step in their business. If somebody is on my email list that is just there to learn over and over, they can listen to the podcast for that. But I want people to come into my email world that are just like you. They're brilliant. They're experts. They're pulling their expertise from another place. They're ready to make money doing what they love. Maybe you feel like scattered. You feel like you don't know how to talk about your offer. You want to be clear and coherent on what that is. and you're done like certifying yourself to death, those are the people that I know I will help take to the next level. So I want to call them up into this season, especially right now. Summer is over. The slowness of the summer is done. The distraction, the kids home. There's only 4 months left till the end of the year. If you're hearing this and you're like, yes, that's me, then we need to talk, and we can. Just hop on my calendar right now at amanda-walker.com/let's chat. All one word, LETSCHAT. And I will map out exactly what you need to do to get to where you want to be at the end of this year. No more hanging out, no more dilly-dallying. And no, for some of you, you think you have an imposter syndrome problem, but what you have is a confusion problem. You're not exactly clear on how to talk about what you do. You're not exactly clear how to package it up and make money doing it. You're not exactly clear on where to spend your time and energy. I can help alleviate all of that for you. So all of these things have been massive epiphanies, all because I said no to something and yes to putting my energy somewhere else. So that also started thinking for me, this is really interesting. Where do I share all this? And if you don't know this about me, in the beginning of my business, I actually started out blogging, which I love to write long form content. Then I decided podcasting would serve my people a little faster, which it does, right? You can put me on 2X and listen to the episode while you're walking, doing the dishes. I love that for you, but I also love to long form write. But blogging kind of didn't feel right. And I wanted it to be a place in a container. And so I decided that was accessible to all you. I decided I'm going to start writing about my journey on Substack. I love Substack because it's where like the real deal go, like you. It's people that don't want surface, people that really want to learn, people that want authentic engagement. Because what the maybe midlife existential awareness I've had through getting off social media is everything it was created for, the connection, the authenticity, the realness is gone. Especially with AI. We can't even discern who's writing the copy, if it's actually a video that's made by AI or not, or even the voice of the person. So it's like, where can I go where I can authentically share my message and also engage with people that have questions in real time without an aesthetic? There's no video, there's no picture. So I'm over on Substack. You can come connect with me. I'll put the link to my Substack here. I'm sure I'll email it out to my list. But it's really funny how everything comes full circle, because when I started this, long form content was slowly fading, but I think long form content is coming back. And initially I just started writing there for myself because it's a diary of my social media break experience. But what I think it's becoming is this question of like how I grew my business and created more cash and more impact without social media than with. And that's my mission. And I think that's why Substack just feels different. Substack feels like this deeper, real authenticity piece. And I hope that, those of you that are interested, we can connect over there and we can build a community together over there. Some other really obvious things that I figured out is just like who my premium client is. This break has helped me figure out her more richly. And she is you. She's an expert at what she does. She's an expert maybe transitioning. And sometimes it feels like a little unclear on how to shift that. She is like you. She wants to be full-time in her business and replace the income she was making as a professional before then. She is ready to take fast action. She knows she can transform lives. She knows that the certification isn't going to get her to where she wants to go. And it's just been really cool workshopping that. So my question to you is, do you know who your premium client is? And I think this is a step above your ideal client. It's like, can you get even more granular? The other clarity is that to work with that premium client, something that I will be implementing in Q4 is a price increase across all formats of our services. And I don't take that lighthearted. We haven't done any pricing increase in about a year and a half. And it's time, because the kind of client I want to work with performs at a higher level. And I am ready to bring that person in and deliver at, a highest level. So if you're on the fence and you are listening to this and you've been thinking about joining one of our programs, a Small Bite Offer, the Framework Builder Lab, the Best Damn Coach, now is the time to act. And so you can email the team at support@amanda-walker.com. Like, hey, I heard this. Can we talk? Or again, just pop on my calendar. Let's talk. amanda-walker.com/let's chat. I think also just life update is like the little things. The little things make such a difference. And I don't want you to move through these telling yourself that they don't matter. One thing is we used to have team meetings on Mondays. I was feeling this pull to move them to Thursdays, actually at the end of the week, so that Monday energy just rolls. Like Monday energy for me is fresh and energetic, and I want to dive into projects. I want to get to the gym. I want to take action fast. And it feels like then I have some time. If I have team meetings on Mondays, I'm already losing like 2 hours or 90 minutes into the day. I want to meet my team on Thursday when I've already had time to deep dive. We take care of what we need to, and they know, and we all know where we're headed into the next week. Little thing blowing my mind. Everybody loves it. We're like, why didn't I do this earlier when it was already on my heart? The other thing I needed, now that the kids are back in school, is like a steadfast routine. So I had to sit down with Justin and we had to really declare who's taking and picking up the kids, which days, who's making lunches. So there's not like this expectation or guilt factor of like, am I doing it? Is he doing it? Because he runs a business too. And that's been so powerful. From a fitness perspective, just like the same energy I'm bringing to my business is like I've been lifting heavier, and that feels so great. Just being more clear on, again, where my energy is best vested. And I've also been playing with fasting, and not for a weight loss perspective, but a clarity and an autophagy benefit. There's so many studies out that are to share what happens when you give your body a chance to just rest and not metabolize food. It has this opportunity to go and kind of play cleanup a little bit to what is existing, and the mental clarity from it has been like, whoa, it's not easy. And it's, again, that delayed gratification of, hey, body, it's okay. And so I drink water on those days. I drink electrolytes. If I've been wanting to, I will have like a black coffee in the morning. But other than that, it's just water. And I started them on Sundays because I was like, okay, the downtime, but it works better midweek for me where I'm a little bit more distracted. But the time and energy awareness of how much time I put into thinking about food, planning for food, it's been really cool to like just pull it all together and do uncomfortable things. Sometimes we settle into comfort, and that means maybe not getting out to go introduce yourself at networking events, not trying new things in your business, not introducing yourself to someone in a new way, or even trying. Taking those big, scary action steps for me are such a compass to growth. And if you're in a season where everything you're doing is comfortable, I think it's time to stretch yourself. I think it's time to do uncomfortable things. It's time to, I don't think that we're meant to play safe or play small. And so these are the things that have been super impactful for me on life levels, on business levels, and on spiritual levels. And so for me, the results so far is I'm seeing way more engagement from our email lists. Our automated systems are converting consistently. We're shortening the sales cycle for people. We're in this trust recession, but what I'm seeing is people actually want to act quicker. So we got to give them a reason to act, and we got to give them a reason to be certain that we are the best at what we do. And in all of this, I'm more present with my family than ever. And it all came from one thing: knowing what kind of business I want, knowing what I want my life to look like, and reverse engineering that entire process or that entire outlook so that I know exactly where I want to spend my time. And so I guess I'm just giving you permission. I'm just sharing what's coming up for me. I'm totally happy to talk about it over on Substack right now. It's given me the permission to do things in my own way that feel good for me. And, also in this is I hired someone to come in who's really great at what they do, which is optimizing funnels to see gaps that are existing in mine. And it was like such a great way. Just like I offer VIP days, I work with someone to look at my business. I am just like you. I need to hire a coach to get to where I want to go. And we all struggle from that insider blindness of not seeing things because we're so in it. And they helped me so much to see the opportunities. And I'm just so pumped about that direction. And so I hope that this gives you permission. I'm happy. Just email me if you have questions. email me, tell me, hey, this really resonated. This episode resonated, or why'd you do this? Or tell me more. Like, I am here for you. And if this resonates, this episode resonates with you, send me an email, share it with someone else. Come over to Substack, look for me. I'll put a link to my Substack. I am here to just support you in every way possible. And so I think for me, it just is like, trust your instincts, friends. Trust what you need, trust that. And also don't be distracted by shiny objects. Right? It's one thing to trust your instincts. It's another to be doing something different every second. I'm not doing anything different. I'm doubling down on what's working and getting crystal clear around the energy and the energy and focus and where it needs to go. So I hope this episode inspired you and just give you a little bit of what's happening in my world. And I'd love to hear, of course, what's happening in yours as well. So come on over to Substack, send me an email, book a time to chat. I can't wait to hear from you.